This second playground video will do the swing set. If you watched the first video, you remember that I was having some out of bounds problems, and I realized after the fact that I was like at 32 feet or 64 feet or something up here. And so I was zoomed out way too far. So since then I have made these smaller. I see I'm still at 4 feet. I probably could have gone even smaller, but I think I'll be okay. There's lots of ways to do a swing set. I'll show one. You may have other ideas, but for those of you who are struggling, maybe you can just follow along with me. I'm going to go ahead and get on my front view. And I'm going to begin by drawing the two ends of the swing set. And I envision these being kind of like triangles that would meet at the top. So I'll take a look at that. So I'm going to begin. This may seem odd, but I'm going to begin by actually drawing a rectangle. And then I'm going to carve away from the rectangle. All right, so I'll just kind of estimate it, something like that. So what I want to do next, I think, is just grab my line tool. And I'm going to draw a line that comes up on an angle. I don't want to meet exactly at the midpoint, so I'm going to come away a little bit, something like that. And then I'm going to do about the same thing on the other side. And again, I don't want to come to the midpoint because I want to leave some flat to the top there. So something like that. And grab my my trim tool and just trim this away so I can kind of see what's going on here. Then I think what I want to do is, I don't really want this to be just a big chunk. I want to be able to see like an opening in here. So I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to grab and draw a parallel line there. I know it's parallel because it's trying to help me, right? Something like that. Close enough. And then come up again on this side. And again, I want to have a flat area up here. I'm going to need that. So then I'll just go ahead and connect. And I can see I've got a little gap here. So I think I'm going to do is just get rid of this one and then draw down. I probably should have done that in the first place. So just come down from that point, back down, something like that. Then I'll grab my trim tool again, and I'm going to get rid of just this middle bottom, something like that. Okay. That should do it. I think it's a complete polygon. Check by double clicking. Yep, I've got a blue shade, so I'm good. I'll give this just a touch of thickness, something like that. So there's one end. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of that. So we'll select the whole thing. There we go. Tap copy and slide one down there. So this opening is where, of course, I'm going to build my my swings, but I need something to hang those swings from. So I'm going to grab I think I'm just going to grab my rectangle tool. And I want to draw on this face right up in here. And I think I'll just try to start up here in the corner. And just draw a rectangle. I don't want to go way down here. That seems like it'd be kind of heavy. So just something like that. And I'm going to tap that. I'm just going to stretch this across. All right. And because we do this, some of you are seeing what's happening, right? If I go too far, it's just going to cut away. So we'll do as close as we can get here. Oops. And you can either, right, play with this and get it perfect, which is a little pesky. Or you can say, you know what, I'm just going to use my align tool. And you can tap on that face and that face. And then over here, we'll tap align. Now, it may jump a little bit, and it did, and that's okay. So we'll just go ahead and pull this back up and let that snap into place. All right, I like that. Hit the check mark, and that's done. All right, now we could at this point, and I can see I'm not quite perfect up here, but we can touch that up real quick. Select that whole thing there. Maybe go this way. Whoops. Slide that over just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to draw my swing laying on the ground to begin with. And I'm just going to draw one of them. I'm just going to do a simple board swing, something like this. And I don't need a lot of thickness. Something like that. Okay. And then I think what I want to do is draw a couple of ropes. So I'm going to draw those separate here on the ground. And I'm just going to bring them together. I like to keep things separate for as long as I can. I think sometimes you can get problems if you don't do that. So I just want to draw a smallish circle, something like that. And I don't know how far to bring it up yet, so I'll just bring it up a little ways. Sometimes you have to zoom way in, right? Okay. I know that's not long enough, but you'll see where I'm going here. And we need 2 of those. So we'll hit copy and slide one down here. Okay. Now we'd like the rope beginning pieces to be on top of the board. I want them up there. So I want to align that with the bottom here, the actual bottom like that. So we'll press, let's try that again. So tap the top, tap the bottom, tap align. I must have hit the check mark by accident, so let's do that again. Tap the top, tap the bottom, tap align, there we go. And before I check it, I want to go ahead and just move this so the rope is towards the end. Yeah, that's pretty good. And check that one. And it looks like this one's not too far off, but I think I want it to be a little closer to the end here. Okay, something like that. Yeah, looks good. So now I just want to bring these up, and I think I can do them at the same time. So I want to hit the end of that one and the end of that one. Sure enough, they're both still blue. So let's just make these pieces of rope taller. And again, I'm just guessing here. Okay. Right, so that swing is sitting on the ground, so we need to move the entire swing up. And what that's going to be is in a line, right? You see this coming. I'm going to align this face with this face up here. I want those aligned. I'm guessing if I do this right now, just the rope's going to come. Let's find out. So we will tap align. And yeah, that kind of all broke apart. Not real happy with that. So we'll undo that. Maybe what I can do first is get the whole swing as one piece. Let's try that. So we're going to use the union option, right? So get the board selected completely. Come on. Well, let's try it a different way. Let's try dragging a box around it. There. All right, so the whole thing's selected. And now I will find my union option. And if we don't see that, we can search for it. I think I want that. Sorry, guys. That's the danger of making these videos, right? Sometimes things don't go right, and then you have to kind of watch me figure that out. But that's okay. I'm learning this also. And now I'm just all twisted around. Look at this. My goodness. Some of you are thinking, Mr. Beck, and you know what's going on. That's okay. All right, let's see if we can now do union. And check. Okay, let's see if that worked. If it did, then when I tap this and this and do a line, remember a line is over here, right? It's the two planes, kind of one's gray, one's black. Yeah, there we go. So the whole swing set, right? The whole thing moved up. Now that's a little, make it the check mark here. That's a little far off the ground, right? But that's okay, we can do scale. So I'm going to scale my swing. So I'll get that selected. Scale again is the wire box around the black box. And for this one, I want it to be non-uniform. Notice I've got 3 paddles here and a couple of blocks. If you only have 1 paddle, that means you probably are on uniform, which means if you make it longer, it's going to get wider, and I don't want that. I just want it to be longer. So I'm going to do non-uniform, and I'm just going to stretch this out. Now you'll notice that it's going to go through the top because it stretches it from the middle, at least right now it is. Oh, you know what? I'm going to check something here. I just noticed this, that the scale has this little dot in the middle. I wonder if I can move that dot. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So I'm moving the dot down here. I wonder if I just scale it now, if it'll just go lower. Interesting. It's just making the bench thicker. All right, so that wasn't a great idea. I may play with that some more. Let's try it again. We'll just do the regular scale thing. So again, non-uniform, stretch it out some, and then, okay, I don't know why it didn't go through the top that time, but it did not. So, oh, there it goes. Scale. That's what I expected to have happen. So you can see it went to the top. So now I just need to bring the whole thing down a little bit, something like that. Just make sure it's still off the ground and probably a little bit low. So I'm going to undo, scale one more time, not do quite so much. And then without scaling, just bring it down so I can't see the rope. There, good. And I'll bring this one over and make it my first one. Okay. So now what I want to do is my arrangement options, right? So it's already selected. I think I can just go ahead and tap here. And yeah, so I've got my spacing and quantity. 3 is good, right? So just start sliding. And there's your 3. Okay. So you could call this done and hit the check mark. And that'd be fine. I'm going to go ahead and just rotate my middle swing so you can see that it actually is a swing. And for that, I'll need an axis. And I think I want my axis to be in the middle. So I am going to attempt here to draw a line on the bottom of this, right in the middle here, something like that. I'm going to call that my axis. All right. So what I want to do is rotate this piece, right? So rotate around axis. It's already selected, so I'll hit my green checkbox right here. Then it says, what's your axis? That'd be this piece, right? And now I should be able to just swing, whoop, 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 right? Put my swing something like that. I like that. Check. And that ends this video.